What do you make of the overall market? You know, here we are coming up to mid-25. A lot of people are still saying Q4. I always get worried when everyone says Q4. Yeah, you know, obviously the tariffs threw everybody a head fake, but now Bitcoin's, you know, threatening 100K again. I spoke to Michael Turpin, who's an OG Bitcoiner. He was the only one at all 11 or 12 Satoshi roundtables. His new book, Bitcoin Super Cycle, is out. And he's saying 180K Bitcoin plus or minus 30K Q4, and at some point we'll break the 4-year cycle and go into a super cycle. You're an OG in this space. What do you think? And also, at one point, does that trickle down into some of these altcoins and the markets that we play in?
Yeah, it's, I believe in the cycle. I believe in the systems. You know, I think it's sometimes self-fulfilling prophecies. You know, if people believe that Q4 and this 4-year cycle is a peak, it might happen just because people are you know, they see it starting to move. They're like, oh, it's going to happen. You know, I'm a retail. I'm a dumb trader, but I'm just going to, you know, it happened in the past. It's going to happen again, and then people start buying, and then the really sophisticated traders are leverage trading, and they're making big bets, and they're also helping and pushing because they also know that some retail is going to follow the wave. So
and then it crashes.
Yeah, I know. And then the again, really smart traders, they're selling at the top and when it's frothy. And then for whatever reason, sometimes these you know, macro factors and politics and, you know, US regulation, you know, Trump being in power, like it kind of is aligning, you know, eerily, it's aligning with these cycles. So yeah, I kind of think that this cycle is going to come around and we'll see some new all-time highs in Q4, truly. Like I think so. And then
that could be all-time highs in Bitcoin, but will that pull up the rest of the market?
Yeah, like it's the history repeats itself, but it doesn't have to be exact. You know, like it does.
What the London Real Investment Club actually does for you, it gives you the keys to open that door to the inside deals. In the last 3 weeks, I've participated in 3 incredible deals: a layer 2 Bitcoin protocol, an incredible AI protocol. The deal flow is beyond what I expected. I don't think I've ever seen a model like this that just gives average folks the opportunity to be behind the deals, and that's exactly what we've done. Not only that, you get to hang out with Brian Rose every week, and for me, that was huge because I look at Brian as somebody who's not only an expert in the space, and I think is on the leading edge, but just the leading edge of thought with London Real and the work he's doing there. To anyone who's taking a serious look at this, I know it's a big decision. It was a big decision for me and my family, and it is one of the best decisions I've ever made. So I wish you all the best and hope you come join us.
A rising tide does raise all ships, but it's not a perfect science because things change. You know, some projects go bankrupt and their token won't recover, or you know, there's other incumbents that come on the market. You know, the Solanas and Layer 2s that are really putting pressure on Ethereum, obviously. But I do think that in general, you know, if Bitcoin's at a all-time high of, you know, 150, 180, 200 by the end of the year, is Ethereum going to be higher than it is right now? Yeah, I think it will, because I think some people will take profits and they'll go into something, you know, lower down the curve. They want to diversify and it can trickle down and further into altcoins. So yeah, I do think, yeah, all ships will rise, but it just might not be as pronounced and as extreme as previous cycles.
It's 21, for example. Yeah, I think you might be right there. And there's so many more projects now.
Yeah.
Do you think we'll see utility projects rewarded at some point? You know, we obviously saw a lot of interest in memes, but like there's some really amazing utility projects with real revenues that tokens are trading at sub pennies on the dollar. Maybe good acquisition things in the future, but do you think that will change? Do you think the market will finally realize that and invest in those?
I do. I think, you know, projects need capital to have a team, to do community management, to do social media, to keep building a product, and all that requires payroll. And if you can generate revenue, then you can be very sustainable. Or if you have, you know, a good balance sheet, you can be very sustainable. But yeah, I think cash flow is definitely going to have its day in the sun, because smart investors are going to realize this is undervalued. Like, this is actually generating capital. They can be sustainable with their cash flow, so they can build more, they can do more engagement, they can do more marketing, and the token's just naturally going to catch up with it and get really appreciated for having something really behind it. So, and smart money is going to see that. I know some very sophisticated traders and hedge funds that are already making some of those bets and some of those calls. So yeah, I think cash flow is definitely going to, be where investors want to be very, very soon, because there's more projects now than ever that have true utility and true cash flow that they can put back into the token, or they can hire more team or spend more on marketing. So yeah, I definitely think that that's going to be big coming up.
Are meme coins coming back?
Some blue chips will, yeah. Like they have community, and they've got maniac traders that are just going to push it and shout about it.
What about new ones?
New ones.
Do you think we'll see anything like we saw the last 6 months?
It's hard. There will be, because there'll be people that...
It's a human thing.
It's a human thing. Like someone, has good capital, good connections, they know, they're plugged in, they understand the system, and they can do it. But it takes a lot of capital, and then some fluky, lucky ones will just kind of catch fire.
But overall, do you think the market's a little bit jaded?
Yeah, there's some saturation, without question, and it's jaded. So I think, last year was kind of the meme year.
Does that burn a lot of new users? And I know it's out of control, but does that kind of frustrate you? Because a lot of those new users might have been playing your games.
Tough. It's like all the founders that are grinding super hard for years, raising capital, doing weekly calls with their team, hiring, firing. Like it's exhausting. It's super painful, and it's long term that you're building these companies. And then some new kid on the block comes very quickly, spins up a website, spins up a meme coin, and then they capture all the attention. Yeah, like
Trump did suck a lot of liquidity out of the Solana that week.
Took a lot of air out of it, and people are like, it's like we all want the same thing, but it's tough to compete. This is very competitive for attention, for capital. But I don't think it's all bad, because it brings people in, it makes headlines, and then people are like, I learned from this meme coin about the sector, and then they explore, they go deeper down, they find our company, Rabbitfoot, or they find, this great game, Wilder World, or something. So it's not all bad, because they bring new entrants.
No such thing as bad press
that's
in the long run.
Yeah.
Hey, I know investing in crypto is scary. It takes a real leap of faith, because there are so many scams, rug pulls, and bad actors out there. It's a dangerous business, which is why 95% of people lose all their money. Well, that's why I created the London Real Investment Club, so you can access the hottest deals on the planet and use the crypto bull market to create the generational wealth that you deserve. Join my team of over 100 people from around the world that are making millions of dollars behind the scenes investing in blockchain, AI, Web3 games, DeFi, Bitcoin, and more. Don't miss out. Click the link below to book a call with one of my team now. But hurry, this bull market will end soon.
I know investing in crypto can be scary. That's why you gotta join the investment club. Pull the trigger. Let's do this.